no two application landscapes are ever the same. And determining the system of record is primarily based on what the system is the ideal home for those different sets of data. So, for example, if a CRM is present, that'll most likely be the best choice for mastering accounts, contacts, and opportunities. An ERP is usually the source of record for sales orders, bills of materials, all things part material. And sometimes application landscapes kind of grow organically over time. I've seen this happen a lot. And organizations tend to compensate for the lack of functionality and maybe an aging application within another type of application. So you can't really take that for granted. So it's important to kind of look and see what is the best of breed as far as where your data is housed, authored, and maintained after CPQ implementation. Another really important factor is future growth. So are there plans to replace an aging ERP system, which may overhaul its data structure? Are there plans to introduce, PLM or a new CAD system? So there's really no right answer there. So it's best to, again, think that through thoroughly in the planning phase.
I'm glad you used the term master data because, yes, certainly my exposure has been on a broader range of data than just the product data from there. But I just actually want to start up with another potential source, and we probably don't see it as much as we used to, although Jonathan did allude to it. Data exists in people's heads, and some of those people regard that data as a reason for them to keep their jobs, whereas other people can't wait to get that information out of their heads and into a system because it actually frees them up from. I know of one instance where a person had to take their laptop on holidays and be contactable virtually all the time because they were the only one that had that tribal knowledge. And if they weren't available, quotes did not go out the door, which in itself is a humongous risk for an organization, from there. So that was just the first thing I wanted to say is we always think about electronic, Excel, etc., but there's people's minds from there. When it comes to the really what's the system of record, as Jonathan said, there's best practices, etc. And the customers know their data. I mean, we have to remember that. We don't know it. We can't point to a system. We can only ask the questions whenever we're implementing. Is this data accurate? Is it representative? It's not just the data, but it's the policies around that data as well. And it may sound simplistic, but I have a new prospect. Do I allow the CPQ people to add an account into the system? Do I run the risk of duplicate accounts because people get lazy if they can't find the value? Or a couple of other scenarios. Do you really want to be able to add an account before you credit check that organization? Are you really going to sell your $100,000 unit to a company that's, I think you call it Chapter 11 or something like that from there? Or even some of our customers have what I call regulated or compliant products. Can they sell our end item to that country, that business, etc.? And again, it's that type of policy, because do you really want to go through the effort of raising a quote, configuring it, doing the special requests to find out that you actually can't ship that item to that country because it's dual usage restrictions, etc. from there? So it's not just the source of the data, it's the policies around that data that you've got to be very clear on upfront before you start utilizing that data for the CPQ journey.